in the playoffs, and I go for him. Oh,
Mano was getting off on his. Like he
that's
held
what
his.
I've been hearing you say.
Nah, he did. Nah, he got busy. Like he got busy. Had me in there. Like, oh, that's how you coming? Like it was something. Like, man, we supposed to be here together. Like he really got in his bag on that.
Oh, so he going off. He like.
Yes.
That's how I be feeling with you sometimes. I be like, yo, Jimmy be trying to take off on dudes. So you say he pulling Jimmy Jones on you, with Mano trying to take off, and you gotta back up for a second and say, hold up. I gotta step my shit up.
Yeah, I gotta go crazy now. Now you going crazy. I gotta go to the crazy house. I need a padded room and a straitjacket now. Like I gotta go crazy now.
You know what? It's when guys live such a real life, and you can put it down on paper, or you could just put it down on the music. You know, like now I find myself, you know, I haven't really been in the studio as much, but I found myself so much easier to do it now because it's just, we done lived so much shit. We done been through so much shit that now it's like, what can't we talk about? We can just go on there and talk that shit.
That's what a lot of people always like when they do the interviews, they're like, yo, how could you keep finding new things to rap about? Because I really live a life. Like, I live a life. Like, man, if once you living, you got stuff to write about. Like, what?
And it's you know, I feel like starting with your last two projects, you stepped up. I think you was way more underrated. And then now everybody like, oh shit, Jimmy, like you've been hearing your names. Like I heard B-Dot talking about you, certain so-called hip-hop scholars talking about, shout out to my brother Jazzy Faye on the trekking down there in the ATL.
Peace up, A-Town.
Yeah, so you been hearing people talking, bigging up your name, like, yo, Jimmy, one of the elites. He's spitting his ass off. How does that feel like, and have you been waiting forever for that?
It feels dope to hear your peers and your colleagues, and also the fans. Like everybody is kind of telling me the same thing, and I'm like, it definitely is a breath of fresh air because I've just been trying to be consistent until I break the barriers down somehow. I've been in this game time, and there's been a lot of rappers before me, a lot of dope rappers, and even in my own Dipset, like, you know, I wasn't always the premier artist, or, you know what I mean? Like, I had some great hits, but I wasn't always the premier artist on there. Like, Jewels was absolutely the star. Cam has been platinum.
Yeah, Jewels was my favorite Dipset. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can't lie to you guys. That boy dead nice. You know what I'm saying?
Cam had been multi-platinum since we first came out, so I was blessed enough to be able to pick up this craft so I could turn it into a hustle. But now the hustle done turned into a passion in my craft, and I'm kind of good at it right now. And
let me ask you something. None of this I'm alluding to is your fault. None of it you have nothing to do with. None of it, nothing. But a person like you who come up from where you come up, and we all know what you have represented. What do you think we could do to make these kids change from how they banging out here? You know, like what do you think could be the solution? Like, what do you think could slow down the violence that's going on in the streets of New York like that?
Oh man, see, it's hard because I've been there, so I don't want to be hypocritical, but also I've grown older, and the way I look at life is way different.
So that's what I'm saying. Did we grow older? Because now I look at shit and I hear shit and I see it different. I know when I was little, I was wild. When we was young, we was wild. And am I just being an old school, an old dude trying to talk about peace, or the kid, you know, calming it down? I mean, what is it like?
I mean, it's a bit of everything for us because we are mature, but at the same time, I be trying to analyze was when I was moving, like the violence, it felt like it was directed towards what you needed it to be. It was a little bit different, but I don't know how to. I don't have the solution for them to stop the violence. All I can do,
and that's the problem, Jim. that you, me, nobody, every time I ask somebody this question, nobody has the
But
solution. In a
but
dream world, what could be a solution? In a dream world.
in a dream world, we wouldn't have, it'd be no guns in a dream world. You're in a dream world, it'd be no guns. That would take a lot of way of a lot of these things. You did, because a lot of these youngsters, they don't know what it is to really stand up for themselves without a weapon on them. You heard? They didn't have to get the bumps and bruises that we had coming up. There was nobody teaching them this lesson. Like, it's almost forbidden to have a fight if you don't get shot. You try to fight me, now I'm coming back to shoot you. Like, there's no medium in between it. There's no settling it. It's up. It's an op. We moving tactical and we sturdy. That's all these young kids is talking about. But for us that been there, done that, seen what it can do to a person, seen what it can do to a person's family, so it's like, what is the advice that we give these youngsters? You did without us seeming too calling like calling the kettle black, because I know that I've been there. But I'm trying to tell them that road that you're going down, I've seen everybody that's been around me get faded in so many different ways. I've lost people. Some people are in heaven. Some people are in jail right now. If people don't take what's been going on in this past 4 years, that you'll know me. You'll know what I'm talking about. Like, how it's so easy to get caught up in fast out here. You dig? Like, I had some of the closest people next to me for the 20 years of my life now faded over. You understand what I'm trying to say? And don't want to talk about it.
I do.
It's
What I'm saying to you is this, right? When we was coming up, there was older guys that did 15, 20 years, and they all told us, yo, chill, this, that. And we looking at them like, yo, your time is done, OG. Like, we young, we moving. And I see now when I meet with everybody who's talking about peace and putting it together, they all like OGs who already learned the lesson, did 20 years in jail, and they coming back to tell the youth, yo, chill. I think one thing we can do is we need new young leaders. I mean, young, they're same age, 18, 19, 20, to talk, so they won't look at us like, yo, you guys are old.
But young, responsible leaders that really know what it is to move,
that's
right?
What I'm saying. Like, young,
responsible
leaders. Like, young, responsible leaders that want to talk about peace, want to talk about you could be the next Jay-Z, the next 50 Cent, the next Jim Jones.
We need more outlets we need way more outlets for our youth than we have now. When we were coming up, it started at a young age with these community rooms and all these block the streets off play. Like, we don't have no outlets for none of these youth right now. The only outlet they have is social media, their phone, and the video games where they're shooting. Like, they don't. There's nothing else in between. We need more responsible young.
Yeah, I heard somebody in the streets tell me. Somebody in the streets said, "Yo, bro, of course they want a gun. They've been playing these video games and they've been marketing these guns."
That's what I just said. We need outlets to show them something better than just being on Call of Duty all day. That's why I be trying to show them how to get to the bag with this cryptocurrency and things like that. So the same amount of energy you using on Call of Duty to go on a drill and Call of Duty is the same amount of energy you could use with $200, $300, $400 and fuck around and make yourself a real bag off of getting on that wave or getting on that cryptocurrency wave.
Because the cryptocurrency and the NFT even the playing field. Yes. Like, so you just gotta be smart and witty to win at that game. It ain't like you need $1 million to start the shit. All you need to do is teach yourself that shit.
And the same amount of time you're using on Call of Duty, the same time you can turn yourself into a millionaire with little or no money if you do it right. So these little different things that we can do as a whole, as for people who we are, to try to get them to offset what they're actually doing instead of just going outside and watching them drill, because it's hard, because we still in it. We didn't do 20 years and come back and be like, yo, I learned. No, we are directly.
But now me, I'm a big advocate for hip hop being art and music being art, movies being art. Like, just because I watch a movie where somebody kills a guy at a bodega don't mean I gotta go to the bodega and kill somebody. It's art. It's not real. Music that I rap about, it's art. It's not real. Otherwise, I'd have been in jail for 10,000 years for robbing the liquor store in every song, right? But when I say that, the other night, just yesterday, I had my nephews over, And these guys, they've only lived in mansions. They're nice guys. They don't know nothing. And slow son. And he said, well, they market and promote it in the new music. Like they tell us the gangs are flying. That's why everybody gets in gangs and stuff like that. This is a decent, nicest kid in the world who really told me this shit. Like, you know, like really like, hey, Unc, they promote it like it's fine.
That's why it's very touch and go for me, because I was one of them people that really was promoting this gang violence, and I made millions of dollars off of promoting this gang violence. But above all, people didn't get to see my overall picture of who I was and how I was moving. Everybody that was moving with me, I was showing them something and teaching them something. When they was next to me, everybody had a job. Who's next to me? If you don't have no purpose, you won't be next to me. Like everything I always pushed was about the betterment of the people I had around me. Now the big picture don't show you that and shit like that. They show you what the media wants to see and things like that, which is all the violence that I seem to be portraying in my music and on my videos. But on the flip side, it wasn't so. You dig? So that's why I love this social media so much, because you get to see all angles of different people and things like that.
It's beautiful what you're doing with the getting fit and all that, because a lot of people don't know till it's too late that they got to be healthy and shit like that. And that motivates motherfuckers to get up. And that is definitely positive. And the social media definitely, because when we was growing up, it was all about a mystery. Like, you know, Fat Joe, you look like you couldn't even talk to him. He like 50 dudes with him standing there like, but now social media lets people see your true self and your character, and who you are. You know what I'm saying? And
media portrays you to be. Like they get to really tap in with you through these social medias or through your personal social media. You know what I mean?
I think that we need more young leaders that are positive. Imagine a young Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Yo, but you say young leaders, but we need leaders, period. Young and just leaders, because hip hop community is lacking.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is, I know how a young Fat Joe would have felt like if a 45-year-old OG, even if I respect him, came with that shit, we'd be like, yeah, my man, get the fuck out of here. Like,
my duty was to talk about, I hated old niggas when I was coming up. You see what I used to go, you dig? Like that was my duty. So now it's just like, I'm the old nigga right now, but I'm a little bit different. You heard?
Nah,
like,
we different. They respect us.
And that's what I'm saying. So when you think about the days where Martin and Malcolm was moving, at that era, they were different. They were us. They just wasn't rapping on beats, but they were us. They were different. They were the different ones that we are now. So who's going to start to take this leadership role is what I always ask ourselves, because there's only a few of us that actually could do it, where people are going to pay attention to what we're telling them. You dig? So who's going to take that role besides the young people that we want to cater to the young people? We need, as a whole, as a culture, we need some brand new Martin Luther Kings, brand new Malcolm X's, brand new Tupacs, everything brand new. You dig? Like, we need those people to step up. You're not saying anything wrong, but who's going to get ready to start to step into those shoes, which is very tricky. It's very tricky.
We gotta do that, and we gotta create more job opportunities for the youth. Because whenever I sit down with them and I talk to them, they like, yo, OG, we ain't got nothing. They like, we ain't got nothing. We ain't. And so that's what they really need, is opportunity, jobs, and a way of getting money, because they just, you know, they looking like, yo, what's in it for us? And people getting tired of like looking at everybody else win and they're not winning. And so they like, fuck it, get rich or die trying.
But this is a good era, because when we were coming up, school didn't preach to us about financial literacy and generational wealth. Right now, we can show all these youth that's looking for a job or need out the right way of how to go about this, because it's the same thing with the crack epidemic. All we knew was how to sell crack, cook crack. That was all in front of us. Now it's a new wave. These computers got these kids on scamming and bamming. All they know how to do is scam. There's a bunch of geniuses out there. How they could be taking thousands and thousands and all that out these banks and things like that. But we need to show them how to take that energy and turn it into real dollars, where they can pay taxes, put millions in their bank account, and go up. It's so many ways we could tap in with these, but we need the leaders for these kids to follow. We need the cool people. We need the fly guys. They don't want to follow no poo putt. They want to follow the nigga that's jumping out the roads and be like, nah, we got this financial literacy class today. And pull up. You dig? I'm hopping out the Lambo to go teach them about this cryptocurrency. That's what they want. They don't want to see nobody no looking old, shoes twisted and all that. They want to see it, bro. They not believing.
They want to
Exactly.
learn. But first of all, they only respect the bag. Number two is you got the NFTs, you got the cryptocurrency, and the cannabis is coming to New York legit to where you can get your licenses. And so they got a thing called what they call legacy entrepreneur, where if you was a hustler, if you was arrested for selling drugs, if you was this, the law is made for legacy entrepreneurs, guys who went to jail for selling drugs and all that, and now you could change your life and invest in a cannabis store and all that, and get your application going. So they need to know there's opportunities out there for them. Don't think that it's over. There ain't no opportunities. It's opportunities. I met the kid the other day, B-Love. He came up to the little charity thing I was doing, and I said, when I look at you, I look at 50 jobs. If the kid do it right, stay alive and continue to be successful, he can have 50 employees that can take care of 50 families.
100%. And
you
these
know,
kids,
and that's what,
these kids want to live life. Like, I'm with I get all the drill shit, and I get we all going through what we going through. But I was at like self party the other day with the kid B-Love, and I started performing. And you know, when you hear what you hear, you know, I'm be in the streets, but I saw a smile on that kid's face that was more genuine than anything while he was in that. It was like, so I know what these kids want. They really want the dream. You heard? They got to realize that they have it now to get out of their circumstances, and they got to leave their circumstance behind. You can't mix the past with what's coming for you in the future, else it's going to haunt you. And that's one of the illest things I could tell them kids. Like, you can't mix the both. I've been preaching that forever. The streets and the music is not going to make it. You got to choose one. You heard? And if it's music, you got to go all the way with it. Trust me. I learned late that I had to choose one. I was lucky, like leprechaun with me, 4-leaf clover in my pocket, God on my shoulder, angel on my other shoulder. Lucky to escape that. You know what I mean? Like,
I knew when I was in the streets, everybody was going to jail forever. My best friends, I mean forever, right? And feds picking everybody up. And I knew that when I started rapping, I got the deal. I knew that was the only way out for me. So I had to like focus, like exactly what we talking about. All the shit we talking about when you hustling and you this and you wanted it. Focused it all on the music and said, this is all or nothing. I gotta make it in this music or not. And so that's what these kids gotta choose, especially if you get lucky enough to where you become a star and you get a record deal.
And these kids are so caught up on instant gratification because of the fucking internet and shit like that. Nobody's willing to grind. I haven't heard pay dues in a long time. Remember when we was coming up, you had to pay your dues. You ain't even pay your dues yet. You had to pay your... I don't even know if they even know what that slogan is in today's generation. You know what I mean? Like, the grind of this game is no more where it used to be for you to get into that spot.
Not like that. Let me tell you something. Yo, Jim, these people would die. Let me tell you something. I used to put up my own posters. You hear me? The glue. Like, take posters, put the glue all night, glue this shit up all over Queens, the Bronx, Brooklyn. Come home looking like a white fucking Casper. Glue. Then I would sleep for 2-3 hours. Then I would come out to the train station and fucking give out a flyer that said Fat Joe with me standing there and be like, look, I'm coming out. I'm a rapper. Look, I ain't had no internet shit where everybody can see, everybody can hear. This is that. If I was performing at the Fever, I was giving out the flyer on Fordham like, yo, come see me Friday. Come see me. Like, it's like, yo, the type of grind. We had the posters. Big Pun, remember we used to have the posters all the night? That was me on the highway.
And that's why we still here, because we figured out how to take that same grind and digitize it. Like, we in 2022 with that same grind that these kids don't really understand. It's not taught to them. Like, for the record I just put out, I did like over 300 dub plates. Like, these, I don't even know if the kids know what drops mean to records for these DJs and things like that. Like, it's certain things that they don't have no idea about, nor do they have nor do they want to do it. Like, they don't have the patience to do all this. Like, they want things to pop. I put a record out, my shit's supposed to go platinum by Friday off these streams and shit like that. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So it was a lot of different things that set in these kids' heads that we got to kind of trying to help them, you know, figure it out a little bit more. But everything you said is 100% right, and I'm glad that this conversation has a lot to do with about the youth and trying to help them figure it out, especially in our city, because I'm watching our city go crazy. I'm watching Harlem go crazy.
I've never seen this shit so crazy.
Watching Brooklyn go crazy. Like the two cops the other day in Harlem. Like, it's just stuff that was not thought about. Like, when we was coming up, and that wasn't.
You wasn't shooting cops.
No,
cops.
No, that wasn't in your thought process.
I wouldn't even argue with cops, Jim.
Bro.
I wouldn't argue with cops because I knew you can't win. So, you know, when you're watching the basketball game and you see the referee give a nigga a tech, you like, yo, don't argue with him, man. He gonna throw you out the game. You ain't gonna beat him. So when it comes to the cops, I always knew, don't argue with these people. We ain't gonna win. But let alone argue, now he's ambushing and killing the cops. And rest in peace to the two cops. I ain't gonna lie to you. We got discrepancy with the police. A lot of people mad at the police. Police has definitely bust our ass a million times. But to see young brothers get murdered like that, I'm not here for that. So salute to their families. God bless them.
Yes, I'm just talking about the mindset. I understand what we went through for years and years with the police, but I'm talking about the mindset of our youth and things like that, how the shit has changed drastically, should I say, since we were coming up. You dig? Like, there's a click switch that they got that's way different, and we got to kind of tap into that to get them to see a little bit more reality. Like, they don't even know what living life is. You know what I mean?
Our brother Dice Peso. I'm getting on the record with him this week.
South Bronx. South Bronx.
Oh, you know about that shit. That boy Dice Peso, boy. I already wrote it, Dice.
Bro,
I was in Hot 97. He sent the boys down. They said, yo, man, what's up, man? Dice said you don't want to do it. I said, come on, man. I wrote the verse already,
bro. He said, he been talking about this for about a month. I gotta get Joe on this. Yo,
no, I'm on it.
Yo. Then he called me like, Joe said he gonna do the record. It's lit. We going up for the BS.
I'm with him. I'm doing it. Your man, I used to hang out with his father and his uncle.
Yeah, my uncle.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. In fact, I went out of town to Virginia with his uncle, man, and I was too Spanish, too light skinned for the strip. They stopped me like 30 times. I had to come back home. Like, I was like, yo, I'm going to jail. They kept just throwing me, yo, my man, come here. You ain't from over here. Everybody black as shit. It's just me out there. Yo, my man, but come here, though. Like, they threw me on the wall 30 times, and one day I had to tell them, like, yo, give me my money back when you come home, man. I can't. Bro. This shit, I couldn't do it. I wasn't right for the strip.
That's some real Bronx. Go out of town, that's a different era. Like, people have no idea what you're really talking about right now. Like, yo.
Oh, no, that was real. You know, they was getting so much money. His uncle kept coming back with new whips, new Jeeps, new shit. I'm like, yo, how I get it? They like, yo, Joe, let's go down to Virginia. So we went down there, and we get on the strip. Everybody black as hell except for me. Cops keep running on me. Boom, come here. Boom, like 30 times. And one day, I was like, oh, no, I'm going to jail out here.
VA was burying New Yorkers down there. Like, so many people never made it back from VA. Still, right now, they still ain't
No, they still in jail from that trip. You ain't bullshit.
Oh, bro.
No, you ain't bullshit. You know, I said to people, you know what? I got like I'm about to tell you some super real shit. I got like mixed feelings about holidays, right? So say Christmas, Easter, shit like that. Because I know guys who's still in jail right now who was trying to get fly to go to 40 Deuce in fucking 88, 89. They still upstate. Sticking everything up. They in jail for 30 years trying to get dip fresh. The Deuce ain't even the Deuce no more. And so Christmas, How many people you know went out there, hustled too long, got caught, or robbed son, got caught because they was trying to get their family something for Christmas. So I got mixed issues with the holidays because in the hood, that got a lot of motherfuckers locked up.
100%. Christmas time is the worst time for all hood niggas because they taking that chance to try to get them gifts for the family, for their girl, for their lady, for you trying to show up. You trying to show
who
up.
did it though? Who made that shit up? Let me tell you something. I used to be the one dude going through Toys R Us with a fucking list this long. Yo, Chaguito, little Juanito's son, this. Yo, bro, Uncle Dan's old ass came out here in Christmas with a list. I said, yo, Uncle Dan, you the last motherfucker with a list. Like, you gotta stop, Uncle Dan. It ain't going down like that no more, man. See the kid give him $100, $200.